Alright, Sultai Super Friends. This is an archetype that we played a bit of last season that we haven't actually revisited yet. And I actually think this archetype gained a card that is actually going to help it a good bit. Growth Spiral is a card that I feel like this archetype definitely really wants. If you look at the curve on this deck, you'll notice we've got a lot of 4s and 5s, even things a little bit more expensive than that. And being able to get to those a turn sooner feels like a big deal. Other than that, this deck gets to play a plethora of just good card advantage and quality interaction. Thought Erasure, Ritual of Soot, Contempt, Craving, just all these reasonable Magic the Gathering cards. We have Treasure Map plus Karn to generate card advantage. We have a couple copies of Tezzeret, a couple copies of Vraska. I slid in a couple of Hydroid Krasis because it felt wrong to be playing a blue-green mid-range controlling deck and not have at least some of these from when we flood out. So I don't think we want the whole 4 with all this other top end, but a couple seem reasonable. Watcher Upon the Threshold, thanks for cashing in that Prime, I appreciate that. Let's just go ahead and dive into some matches here. I'm actually going to go ahead and take this one into ranked, I think, just because it's playing enough reasonable cards that's probably fine. Let's see if we live to regret that decision, but I feel like this is one that's fine to play in ranked. This was someone donated for me to update this one from last season, so it felt moderately competitive last season, so hopefully that's still the case now. We are 220. That is a Tempo Storm emote. And I had an extra slot, and I was like, I had the asset for that, and I was like, sure, let's put the team logo up there. I can replace emotes at any time, so if we decide of something better, or there's a couple of older ones too I wouldn't mind replacing. I might have my artist buddy do up a garbage type emote at some point still. That seems fine. It's a little slow if they're playing something aggressive, but it's got all of our colors. It's got a ramp spell. It's funny, my wife was actually just talking about updating those. Those ones are like 2 years old at this point, I think, so she was trying to find pictures to update them on. Update them with. Starting game's probably pretty okay against Sultai. They're not a deck that's going to run us out of the game here, thankfully. The deck list on my site is just card for card. The deck list that won the Mythic Championship, so I don't really have any thoughts or opinions on it. Just have that one up there because it's got a proven track record. We have a timeout emote. Huh. I'm gonna try and hit another land here. Feels pretty bad. If we hit the land there where we can like get the treasure map going sooner, coming up on maps here feels real bad. Especially if they get to like untap and play Vivian. Hostage Taker, also not stellar for us. I do have Vraska's Contempt for that at least though, so we got that going on. Was a little bit late. So let's kill this now so they can't replay my map next turn. The pirate stealing a map is on flavor at least. Alright, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Huh. think I'm bottoming that, just looking for a land. We're gonna have to contempt this. Actually, we're gonna contempt this during the upkeep, so that way we can scry on the upkeep again, right? It's not a dick thing to do, dumping truck. The dick thing is for those new followers to come in and not read the chat rules and explicitly say not to use it. I'm all for punishing people that don't follow the rules. Actions have consequences. Well, thanks, Kennedy. Good to have you here. Hope you're having a good Thursday wherever you're at. Ooh, that's a good one. That's true. It does. It also filters out people that are going to get really upset that they got timed out. They have a main deck negate. Oh, this isn't going to work how you want it to work, bud. This isn't... They used their cast down there because they wanted to be able to find back their Explore creature, but that's not how that works. The person that I just banned for getting upset and yelling and saying chillax a little for saying we time people out, that's why people ask for timeouts on this chat, to make fun of people like that think getting timed out is this great atrocity. Trust me when I tell you that getting timed out today is not going to be the worst thing in the world that could ever happen to you. Boshak, thanks to the 6-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. It really says a lot about our society that, like, people come in here and break my rules and get, like, a very not big deal punishment, right? Like, a 10-minute not typing in chat is not a big deal. And then they try and make me into some bad guy for, like, enforcing rules that they broke. Like, come on now. I'm not the one in the wrong here. Don't come into my space and break my rules and then tell me it's my fault. I think Ritual of Soot's probably good here, just because it does kill their Krasis as well. Their freedom of speech, yep. To be fair, I think there's people that come in here and get upset that aren't just trolls, because this chat is moderated differently than a lot of Twitch, and people get upset with things that are outside the norm. I probably already built it, Savage. I'm pretty sure I built that one already. I think I used Seth Manfield's list or something close to it. So after I build a build around, it just gets replaced with the deck list in the queue so people can see what it is. What do I want to cut here? Maybe this is not a Stroke matchup. Stroke's probably good here. Is it crazy to cut Treasure Map against their hostage takers? I guess I do have Thief of Sanity. I need to cut a bunch of cards here. You've seen streamers lose a lot of following after unapologetic timeouts and bans. Well, that's not... things that haven't been my experience. That. Definitely haven't felt like we lose following from unapologetically timing people out. Yeah, I'd say it's fine. Not amazing, but fine. Yeah, probably Dimir midrange. Usually I name it whatever the archetype looks like. I don't leave it X build around Savage Rocker. I want the names to be descriptive. Maybe I should start leaving in the notes this was a build around 4X is probably a good idea. That's probably a good suggestion. That way people don't have that question. Leave your Vraska's Contempt here. Best of One is a format that seems like it's incredibly high variance and narrow compared to a standard format that has sideboards. It is a format that I personally don't enjoy playing, but if you do, more power to you. Hey, TZTFG, thanks for the 4 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, well, that's dead. Vraska's not a bad draw, assuming they don't have another discard spell or counter spell. So they like play a Krasis next turn, I can like play Vraska, kill Krasis. It's not terrible. Nah, I think saying best of 3 is how the game's meant to be played is also silly. One of the things that makes Magic great is the fact that it's so many different games. Magic isn't just one game that people play. It's standard, it's limited, it's best of 1, it's best of 3, it's EDH, it's modern, it's legacy, it's vintage. Like, all of these different things are the reason why Magic has endured as a game for so long. That's a Carnage Tyrant that I can never beat, huh? That's a Carnage Tyrant I can never beat. It's a rules engine for all these different ways we enjoy playing. I guess I can put a bunch of blockers into play here, huh? Let other people like things. Dayloon, thanks for the 5 months to resupport there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Again, I can appreciate that best of 1 is something that exists that other people enjoy, while also being honest and saying, I personally hate best of 1, and I'm not going to play it. Like, those things aren't mutually exclusive. I can say, hey, this thing is good, and I'm glad it exists, but it's not for me, and I'm not going to touch it.
The belligerent needs her crew.
Yeah, I agree, Baby Gambles. I dislike best of 1 in Magic more than I dislike it in other games because of the inherent variance that's built into Magic that's not present in other games. Hearthstone, at its core game, it has less variance than Magic at its core game. So we're really hoping to draw a Hydroid Krasis here so we can block this Carnage Tyrant. I mean, people are talking about Eldest Reborn. Eldest Reborn is not a good answer to Carnage Tyrant, chat. It's not. Because the decks that tend to play Carnage Tyrant tend to have lots of other little creatures surrounding it. So, saying we need to play this thing to go with Carnage Tyrant, I think is, to be Carnage Tyrant that, like, if they have any other creature it doesn't work, I think is silly. I think I want all these maps on the play. I'm going to cut these Ritual of Soot. I'm going to leave 1 Hostage Taker in. Actually, I'm going to leave a Cast Down in to kill their Hostage Takers. I think if we wanted to kill Carnage Tyrant, we should probably just play our own Carnage Tyrant. It's like Tarmogoyf. The best answer to a Goyf is to play your own Goyf to block with. Lots of people suggesting very narrow cards in chat. Just play good cards. Play generically powerful cards. Don't put a colorless land in my 3-color mana base because you wanna feel good about beating Carnage Tyrant. Just play Dire Fleet Poisoner because it's decent against aggro, or play your own Carnage Tyrant to block. I agree. Carnage Tyrant is a card that's not super popular anymore. A lot of these Sultai decks have 1 or 2 at most. A lot of them aren't playing any. Jerry Thompson was someone who brought it back at the Pro Tour because it's decent in the Sultai Mirror, but the Sultai Mirror is also not super common. A lack of a true sweeper is definitely one of the reasons why Sultai has a little bit of issues as far as controlling strategies go. You'll notice, so one thing I did for this game that I didn't talk about is you'll notice when I went back to the sideboarding for this game, I brought the 2 copies of Karn that I had boarded out back in. That's because Karn is a pseudo answer to Carnage Tyrant because it can make large blockers. So one of the things people overlook a lot of the time when they're talking about things to beat Carnage Tyrant is the fact that you can just block Carnage Tyrant in combat. Just put a creature into play. Do you have a removal spell? Or is my thief gonna get to take over here? No blocks. Well, you can't duress Thief of Sanity. It's not a legal target. Ditch that. Hopefully get to play Vraska Relic Seeker next turn. If they play Vivian downtick, we can cast down their Branch Walker and then kill it. So I'm not going to block here because if they play Vivian and shoot my Thief of Sanity, I want to be able to kill their Vivian inside of combat. All of the decks that I'm planning to play today, like all the decks I plan to play every day, are currently listed in my stream title. We are very organized around here. Always like to make the information accessible that people are going to want to see. Rather than play Vraska into a negate, I'm just going to go ahead and do this, I think. Because they showed us they had negate last game. So I think I'd rather not run my powerful top end into that. And if they like Finality and clear the board to catch back up here, I then get to play Vraska while they're tapped out. What upcoming deck am I most excited to play? The Quasi-Ooze deck we're playing next actually seems kind of sweet. Do this while they're tapped out. Shoot this, get a treasure. So, hoping to draw some more gas at some point here. We're looking for Krasis of our own, other Planeswalkers, treasure map, things like that. That being said, if they don't have removal spells here, these creatures that we have in play are just going to run them down, which is nice. Memorial Genius isn't a terrible draw as far as additional lands go. Although it does suck that we have to wait a turn to do anything with it. Feeling a concede. Thanks for the biddies, RX Kennedy. Be sure to take a peek at my deck queue and let me know if there's a deck you'd like to see a little bit sooner. I always encourage people who donate to pick something they'd like to see. People who pay my bills dictate what we do on this channel. It's only fair. So they have a counter spell here. They're dead. So we flooded a little bit, but we're able to power through on the back of our card advantage, which is nice. Thanks, Froggy. So early Thief of Sanity, able to pick that game up and run away with it. I think I agree with the conclusion that there aren't enough Carnage Tyrants in the format to really warrant playing specific answers for it. I think just, like, planning to have Karn tokens to block is probably not unreasonable. Probably not unreasonable. LeClaire Randy, thanks for the 37-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. It's a long time. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, I agree. There are not a lot of Carnage Tyrants in the format. I think just like planning to ignore it is probably reasonable. I think this hand is not good enough against enough of the format that I need to mulligan it, even though it has all my colors. Settler Wreckage is really poorly positioned in the format because one of the best aggro decks, Mono Blue, plays 4 copies of Siren Storm Tamer that counter it. And against the Sultai decks, giving them a bunch of extra lands ramps them up into casting larger Krasis. So there's more decks that are able to leverage having extra mana in the format. And one of the primary aggro decks in the format has counterplay against it. This opener is probably pretty good against the Legion's Landing deck. This will hopefully help us find our next land drop here. I think I'm just going to take March. Is it? No, yeah, it's Loxodon. Because if I kill all their creatures, the March doesn't matter. And the elephant doesn't die to either of my sweepers here. This cry is about to be real good. Man, if I'd have left them with the elephant, they'd be able to play it this turn, so I'm glad we got rid of that. Yeah, so like this is probably gonna be pretty close to a concession cry. I think I just get Karn going. Versus tokens. Thank you for the very generous bits, Kennedy. Oh. Oh. Curiouser and curiouser. Gonna grab this now. I'm gonna trophy this, and I think I'm gonna wait on the cry here. Yeah, Tristania is definitely one of their better draws. I think we're still solidly ahead. I think I just want to get treasure map going. So ideally we want to hit a Thought Erasure for next turn. Huh. How do we feel about Karn downtick here? I get like Karn downtick plus play Tezzeret. And then, like, I'll flip the treasure map and get to cry and kill the tokens. I don't really care if they flip Legion's Landing, I don't think.
Evil cannot withstand a righteous army.
Shall we be?
So they're gonna have 6 tokens here. So So, like, they know about this cry, so they know their squad's going away here. They have to throw enough at Karn to kill him. And the rest go at me or Tezzeret. I assume they attack the other 3 at Tezzeret here, just because, like, I'm at high enough that they're not going to be able to pressure me out of this game. And then hopefully the card advantage from, like, Treasure Map and Tezzeret's going to, like, be more than enough to win this. Morning, Lord. Agent of Bolas is a real good card. Thanks for the biddies, Kennedy. And then I'm planning to cast Cry of the Carnarium next turn to, like, clean up the board and stabilize my Planeswalker. So I am going to go ahead and take this Thopter and just trade it away here to keep my health total high. The Karn token's not going to die. I'm going to flip the treasure map, which will make 3 treasure tokens. This will be a 4/4. Maybe this was wrong to leave on top. No.
I know what must be done.
Let's go ahead and just clean these out. You get to start working back up with their Adanto, but it's like their Adanto on the top of their deck versus my treasure map, my Karn token, and my Tezzeret. Like, pretty solidly ahead here. Sure. Like, they could probably stack their deck at this point and still be behind. No, I don't want to attack, because I don't want them to attack my Tezzeret.
Brilliance comes easily to me.
Brilliance comes easily to me. 2 2s, baby. I forgot about that stupid bug. I'm surprised they updated and didn't fix that. So, the auto tapper with the treasure cove doesn't accurately show you what it's going to tap. It's really annoying. So when I held up Vraska, it highlighted it was going to tap my memorial and leave these 2 untapped. But then when I actually played Vraska, it tapped my treasure cove. So, the auto tapper letting you know what it's going to do is bugged specifically with treasure cove. Doesn't really matter because we're like light years ahead here, but it is annoying. Planeswalker decks are annoying to play against. They really are. Morning Punchworthy. How did the Morning Monitor go? It went alright. We played, what did we play? We played, Infect. That was pretty reasonable. Yeah, we were pretty solidly into garbage time there. I'm going to bring in the Moments. I think I'm going to trim the cast down. Definitely want all the sweepers. I didn't put a 5th sweeper in my sideboard, but maybe I should have. I don't know. 2 Cry, 2 Soot's probably fine. Do I want Vraska's Contempt here? I almost feel like I don't. I think I don't mind Disdainful Stroke. They have Loxodon. They have Tristani. They have March. I mean, that seems fine. Let's give this a try. So do I leave them with Hero for a turn? I think I want a Thought Erasure because they like play History of Benalia next turn. I'm pretty sad. I have a Negate. Do I take Negate and hope to rip a sweeper? It's a Mara or Negate here. I think I'm gonna take the Negate and hope to find a sweeper. Get like a Surveil and some other things. Yeah, but like, I'm gonna die. I'm pretty dead to the hero sitting back on Negate too, though. Like six in one hand, half dozen in the other. Yeah, they're aware of the bug. Yeah, the fact that I left their Amara made them pause like I could have a sweeper, which is nice. Let's try and hit some land drops here. Or Ritual of Soot. And if I'm fortunate to draw a land next turn, I can Thought Erasure before I Ritual of Soot, which would be nice.
Please do not do that.
Took down the standard showdown, the Blackbird Aristocrats deck on your website. Awesome! Yeah, I like that. I like that Aristocrats build a lot. It's a lot of fun. So, I think I just need to pull the trigger on this turn. I don't think I can afford to just like Thought Erasure. They do get to kill my Karn with this next turn, but the fact that I like have another Karn probably means we're fine. Yep.
Farewell, and thank you for the
I'm gonna go ahead and leave blue-black up here in case I hit another land. Yeah, I can trophy this eventually. Wow, they draw a counterspell for the turn? They did. And we know they drew that for the turn, because otherwise they would have stroked our Soot last turn. They draw Tristani. If they drew a Tristani here, we could be in trouble. Yep. Alright, that's like worst case scenario. Need to draw a Cry. I think we're dead. I don't know that we had any plays to beat that series of top decks. Needed a land in there so we could stroke back. I think I'm happy with how I'm sideboarded. Yeah, I think I'm happy with how I sideboarded. The London Mulligan cannot get here soon enough. Because, like, with the London Mulligan, I know if my 7th card's a land and I keep this, or I go to 5. Here, I have to look at this and go, okay, this hand's very good with the 2nd land. Because I find a black source, I Thought Erasure to find another, or treasure map and get going. So, I have to keep this, hoping to find a land, but we could just not play Magic here. Which is why the London Mulligan rule is going to be so valuable, because it's going to reduce the number of games like this, where, like, we just, like, might not get to play Magic here. And that's not a black source, which sucks, but I think it's definitely a keep. Yeah, the fact that we're on the play really makes this suck, because it means my treasure map can't get played on 2. Morning, little Bappy. Yep, land is a land is a land. I do at least have the Thought Erasure here to, like, hopefully clear the counter spell before I stick my discard spell. So looking for a black source. Okay. Yeah, London Mulligan will also change the sequencing of the lands this game, which is a big deal. Alright, that's their last piece of gas here. So if we can find a black source, we're going to be in a great spot. Perfect. So, assuming they don't rip Negate here or another Ajani, we're in a good spot. That's okay, right? It's not a big deal. Thank you for your generosity this morning, Kennedy. Be sure to let me know if there's a deck you'd like to see sooner. I'd be happy to bump something up. Ooh. We're just looking for lands at this point. And I think I'm actually going to burn 2 treasures to play Karn here, just to get him going. Like, these treasures turn into cards later, but Karn turns into cards too. They have a Disdainful Stroke. God, that's brutal. At least they bricked the turn we needed them to brick. And I have Memorial plus Treasure Cove, so, like, we're not just dead, but... Alright, we've got that one covered too. We've got that one covered too. Start by drawing with this and see what we get. I don't think I can afford to shock to draw a card sooner this turn. Like, I could shock there to play the Growth Spiral this turn, but I think I'd rather just wait. Let's start by tapping these and see what I get. And then we'll just crack the Memorial of Genius at the end of their turn. So don't play your X spell. Wow. Woof. That's a big in. I don't have a lot of good answers to that. So I boarded out my Contempts, and I don't have my cast downs in my deck. Like to see a deck that's good to climb from Plat 3 to Mythic. 10 out of 10. Thank you for the support, Kennedy. Alright, this is a start. This is a start. This is a start.
Silent, obedient perfection.
So Tezzeret permanently blocks Angel of Grace, so we've got that going on. I'm up to 7 here, which does mean, depending on what they play, I could draw a card. Nope. Nope. Do I draw this and kill the hero? And go to 2? I think I draw this, kill the hero, and go to 2.
Of course.
Yeah, the stroke on the Karn into us flooding a little bit, into them having an angel. Just not a whole lot we have going on here. I am dead to Flourish here, which the way this match has gone, they're going to draw it. This line does leave us dead to a couple other things, I guess.
A master builds
Dead to removal. Just looking for any of our other planeswalkers here so we can actually start amassing some advantage. Hopefully they keep flooding as well. Alright, let's start on treasure map here, because if I scry into an answer, I can draw it. That's gonna stay there, but it doesn't,
I made you
I'm gonna play this land out. They drew their X spell. They drew another Angel of Grace. Yeah, good beats. Sunko, thanks for the 10-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. The Church of Kiki. Not a whole lot we can do there. One of the things, again, you have to remember, Magic has a lot of variance in it. I feel like I played well there. I don't think I had any extra decisions we could really make differently. The fact that they ripped the stroke for the Karn meant that we were just too far behind and couldn't play through the flood. And like they ripped their bombs while we sat there and just didn't draw anything. Seems fine. I don't even know if the boarded angels are hard to answer, Be Rich. Like we have Vraskas and Krasis in our decks. I did, Brad. Good luck in the rest of your matches today. Well, Vraska answers it. Krasis answers it. Assassin's Trophy answers it. We have a number of things that just, like, take that card off the table. Trophy sounds great here. Looks like we're playing against a Wilderness Reclamation deck, which means these Moment of Cravings are just dead draws. This is one of the unfortunate things about playing a deck that's aiming to be interactive like this, is we can't be interactive in matchups like this because our interaction's just dead a lot of the time. Yeah, the second game when you ripped the Tristani, Brad, I had a stroke in my hand, but we missed the 6th land drop to be able to stroke your Tristani. Smells like Temur Reclamation. I probably should have put a stop during my upkeep to try and draw land here.
Say hello to my little friend.
This is going to be a match where we're being aggressive with Karn because we need to end the game because they're a control deck. This does ramp them up into having Niv Mizzet next turn, but even if they play Niv Mizzet next turn, I'll get to flip this treasure map and guaranteed cast the Vraska to kill the Niv Mizzet, which is nice. And my Karn tokens are applying a pretty significant amount of pressure here. So feeling like we're in an okay-ish spot. Yep, there's another one of those. It makes them 5/5s because the map turns into a land, so it's plus 2 artifacts when you flip the map. Coming off a 24-hour shift. Thanks for the 5 months, Shiny. I never heard the verdict. Try Hard Tuesday is not staying. It was kind of miserable. It reminded me that playing Magic with the only goal being winning just kind of sucks. Magic's got way too much variance in it to want to just do my best to win all the time. Why on earth would they do this for 1? What are they holding up here? They just want to kill Karn that badly.
There is always another fight.
There is always another fight. So I'm going to draw the land because I want that for the turn. Then I'm going to play the land. We're going to flip this. I'm actually going to bottom that. And then I'm going to attack them for 10. And then I'm going to play Vraska and kill this Wilderness Reclamation. And this makes treasures, which works well with my Karn tokens, and also works well with the treasure cove, which is great. Yes, Grindle. All of the updates to the queue happen outside of stream time, unless you cheer a very large amounts of bits and you want to cut something into the same day. Alright, so now we get to cut all of these poopy interactive spells out of our deck and bring in a bunch of counter spells, and Thief of Sanity has added pressure and Assassin's Trophy. They were playing around Spell Pierce. They left 3 lands up, so they weren't strictly playing around Spell Pierce. Do I want to cut Vraska's Contempt? They're probably a Niv Mizzet deck. I think I want Vraska just because I want all the ways to kill Wilderness Reclamation. She also kills Niv Mizzet. Yeah, so I've got 5 ways to kill Niv plus 4 ways to discard him. Maybe Tezzeret's too slow here. I'd rather have Contempt in. I could see that. Let's do that. I think Tezzeret's maybe too slow. This isn't about card advantage as much as it's about having the right cards. This hand needs a second land, right? It's just not good enough. Sorry, I forgot to mute when I typed there. This hand's not amazing, but it's fine. I would love a third land. Sign me up. Yeah, using the treasure map during your upkeep means that you're looking for a specific style of card, and you want to try and find it during your draw step that turn. So, for instance, you'll often be doing that when you're looking for a land. The expansion is back at me. I'm a little bit sad, I think. But other than that, we're okay here. I think I leave them the search for Azcanta and probably take the sabotage here. Treasure map, that sounds fine. Yeah, Muldrotha's not a very good magic card. It's too slow and clunky. This format isn't kind to playing bombs that need other bombs to make them better. So a card like Muldrotha is not individually powerful, which means it's not good enough. You need your cards that are finishers to be finishers on their own, not finishers in conjunction with something else. Erasure. Huh. I think I'm in for that. The way they activated this and then didn't attack makes me think they have a counterspell. I guess I'm short on black mana though, so I'm not going to keep it actually. I'm gonna trophy this now. Because if they have Expansion Explosion, I'd prefer they don't have the 3 extra mana next turn. Yep. I think I'd like a Vraska here. Maybe I'm supposed to keep the Negate. Just because I can, like, trophy plus have Negate up off the treasure map mana. Ideally, I'd like Vraska because it lets me kill Niv without them drawing a card. Do I want to spend treasures playing Karn this turn? I don't think I do. I think I'd rather save these to try and draw more disruption here. The treasure maps, the search is getting to flip though. Oh, they didn't flip it. Well, that gives us a little bit of time, I guess. Stroke seems fine, I guess. I kind of need a way to kill that because I don't think I'm going to be able to beat active Azcanta. I'm just going to bury us in cards. Do they run Frilled Mystic? Yeah, I think so. They definitely run Sabotage. Yeah, that's fine.
I battle for the forces of good.
Let's put some ground pounders in play and try and kill them with Karn. Hopefully on the back of this counterspell we can get something going here, like counterspell plus pressure from Karn. The worst case scenario here for us is another Niv Mizzet, because that's a card I can't stroke. That's a payoff for them. I get negated and feel bad, but it is what it is. I just can't win without this card. Worth noting that because this is Disdainful Stroke, they can't expansion our counterspell. So they might have a second expansion explosion here. They might have a second expansion explosion here, so I definitely am looking for a counterspell at this point. So, one of the things you're doing, Skip Den, is something that people do very often when they're building Magic decks, is you're saying Muldrotha is good when your Vanathir is active. When your Vanathir is active, your deck is busted and very good, so don't play cards that are bad most of the time to make your cards that are great better. Don't play cards that when you don't have your engine going are useless. So, like, sure, Muldrotha's great when you have, like, your Vanathir active and you're making a bunch of stuff, but, like, when that happens, you're ahead anyways and are winning. So why maximize when you're already ahead? They have Nexus of Fate in their deck. Alright, so we're probably dead then. Yeah, it's called winning more. That's what if you ever heard anyone refer to a win more card, that's what they're referring to. We're dead here at this point. They get to play the Nexus of Fate. They get to activate Azcanta this turn. They get to activate Azcanta twice next turn. So, definitely not in a position to win from there. Let's go ahead and move along to the next one. They banned Nexus of Fate in best of 1. We still have to suffer through it in best of 3. I think Blue Splash and White Weenie is great, Dopies. If you look at a lot of these successful Weenie decks, most of them splash blue. I'm pretty sure the Weenie deck that top-8'd the Mythic Championship had a Blue Splash as well. The sideboard option's really that good in best of 3 that justify it not being there. Yeah, the win rate of Nexus in best of 3 actually isn't that high. It's just still tedious and annoying here. So, there are a lot of good, like, counter spells and stuff like that, and extra enchantment removal that you can play in your sideboards in Best of 3 that make it slightly less good. It's definitely still annoying, and it's my least favorite part of the format, but I think I don't think it deserves a ban based on power level in Best of 3. So let's negate a search for Azcanta, then untap and play Thief of Sanity. Well, hopefully this will get to run away with the game. Drawing a third Karn here feels really bad. Although I guess if I draw a land, we're gonna be like aggressively down-ticking Karn. They have one of their best possible starts here, though. They're gonna get to, if they play a land and a Wilderness Reclamation, will be in a lot of trouble. Do I still view Gates favorably? I don't think so. Hopefully find a Wilderness Reclamation here. Another negate deal. Alright, well now we're on the Protect the Queen plan. Things we're doing. Killing them with this Thief of Sanity. Azcanta's gonna flip real fast. Yeah, that's true. Thief of Sanity does accelerate that process. No. Stop it. The goal here is that we're drawing 2 cards a turn and we have some selection off of their deck too, and they have cards that are good against them, so hopefully we'll be in an okay spot here. Yeah, I think stealing Nexus is wrong there. I think I'd much rather just have counter spells. I'm just gonna keep stacking these up. Yeah, this is why Thief's in our sideboard. It's very good in matchups like this. We would like to draw some more lands in our 26 land deck so we can eventually play 3 spells in a turn, but being able to just have 2 counter spells up is pretty reasonable. As long as they keep drawing counter spells off their deck, we're definitely in a good spot. Are we just 4 for 4 on taking counter spells from them? We're just 4 for 4 on taking counter spells from them, right? Yeah, the Domery deck's really sweet. I like it a lot. And you've taken 4 counter spells like an adult. Alright, I'm gonna end step Growth Spiral here because I do have double negate up. So come at me. I know I'm not in a position to have triple counter spell up ever, so might as well just you know, roll with it. Alright, now I have triple counterspell up because I have Negate, Negate, Sinister Sabotage. Yeah, if you click Videos, Standard, the Temur Domri deck, every deck I play on stream ends up there. Don't mind me. Just stockpiling counterspells. Gotta catch them all, gotta catch them all, yeah. Gotta catch them all, gotta catch them all, yeah. Gotta catch them all. Counterspells. I would love a land on top of my deck. Yep. Well. I guess this is a reason to have Thought Erasure them last turn. Power to the people. Thanks for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. I don't want to EOT Contempt chat because they have lands up. So I want to be able to counter their counterspell. So now they're going to try to counter our Vraska's Contempt, which will give them another trigger and let them kill the Thief of Sanity. So we're actually in a bad spot here now. Says they get to draw 3 cards. So I think I lost this game because I didn't Thought Erasure 2 turns ago. I thought it should have Thought Erasure 2 turns ago. And I did not, and we're going to get punished for it. I think it's important that I erasure them there so we can take another possible Niv like we just did. I have 4, 8. I think I want a 9th land. 9th land lets me play Karn plus have Sabotage and Negate up next turn. They can activate as Kanta, find Reclamation, play Reclamation, find Nexus, play Nexus, I believe. Yeah, we're not just dead here, but we're not in a good spot anymore. I definitely do not think we are in garbage time. I think this game is incredibly close at the moment. There's 3 wrecks in their bin. Oh yeah, that's right. We did mill past a lot of them, right? Yeah, they're probably mostly out of counterspells at this point. The goal here is going to be to get Karn down and start making tokens, then like find a trophy or something to plow through this Incubation Dread. Yeah, they have Expansion Explosion to kill us. So Expansion Explosion lets them counter a counter here. That's exactly what I want for Christmas. We're just going to cast this, leaving 2 up. So I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to do this for X's 5. I think it's greedy to do it for X's 6, even though they're at 6. I need to kill them. We might not get to take another turn here. We might get locked out at this point. Sure. Sure. And then I think next turn we just deploy Thief of Sanity with double counterspell up. There's 17 cards in their deck, but remember, Nexus of Fate keeps them from decking. Because why wouldn't it? No, I don't want to leave Memorial up because I'm not activating it. I really think cutting the Explore package is a huge mistake, Gorks. I think cutting the Explore package is a massive mistake. You remove a huge amount of consistency from the archetype, and you make yourself infinitely worse against everything aggressive. You cannot exile next. You can exile next to something like Syncopate. We can take their Nexus with Thief of Sanity. I guess this technically is exiling it. Sure. Unmoored Ego works, yep. So they have 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 mana currently. They're going to expansion my Sinister Sabotage, and then I'm gonna hope they don't have Spell Pierce. Looking for more counter spells. Or their Nexus. Alright, perfect. One of your finest Nexus of Fate, please. Alright, one more and they're dead. I know I could kill them with Expansion Explosion too, but this feels better. This feels better. Thought this wasn't an Nexus deck. How are we doing, folks? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody, wherever you're out in the world. Thanks for dropping by here today. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, 50 hours a week. If you are someone who enjoys standard best of 3 constructed, this is definitely the channel for you. As always, a big shout out to my wonderful subs, such as Calendress there. Thank you for shipping your Twitch Prime this way this month and keeping me employed. I wouldn't be here day in and out with folks like Calendress, so thanks for keeping me around, folks. I'd also like to give a shout out to some of my sponsors here. The Nerd Rage Gaming Championship Series, a $5,000 cash tournament series that happens every single month in the Midwestern United States. If you can't make it out to play in one of their standard, modern, or legacy tournaments, be sure to check out their streaming coverage as well at twitch.tv/NRG series. Lucid Sound is the maker of my wonderful headset here, and if you head on over to lucidsound.com, you can save 20% plus get free shipping on your headset of choice from them by using code TEMPO. Neo provides wonderful candy-flavored protein bars using code Hoagland at bit.ly/HoogleBar. You can save 10% on all of your protein bars there with them. And of course, I'd like to welcome everyone out there to Hoaglandia. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now, and I appreciate you choosing to stop in and spend some of your time here with us today. Remember, if you're new to the stream and enjoying the content, make sure to hit that follow button. Following the stream doesn't cost you anything. It lets you know when I go live and with what. Alright, head down now. Let's play one more with Sultai, friends. We're playing for a little over an hour, but I kinda like what this deck is doing. I liked this deck last season, and it still seems like it's a lot of fun. I think we're 2-1 in matches played, and the one match we lost was pretty close. That timeout was more relaxing than my vacation. We aim to please, The Rock. And we aim to please. Sounds pretty reasonable. got Disruption for control decks. It's got Cry for an aggro deck. It's got Krasis for everything in between. This hand's pretty reasonable against Mono Red. What you working with? Light up the stage, risk factor, skewer. I think I just take their 2-for-1 here. Treasure map. Huh. Yeah, I think I'm in for a treasure map, actually. We're gonna Cry to get rid of the Gitu Lava Runner next turn. And then we'll play the treasure map out to get some velocity going. Once I acquire my plot of land, can I rent it out to the shovels? How do I get 10 ends? Thanks for the 33 months, Tom. Welcome back. Getting close. We're gonna have a few landowners here in Hooglandia soon. Cry me a river, baby. So I am a little bit low here. So like the risk factor leaves me at a virtual 8. This leaves me at a virtual 5. Hydroid Krasis does buffer my health total here a little bit. We're open to find some things like Moment of Craving to kill some creatures and gain some life. Goblin Chain Whirler, yep. I mean, I guess that's technically what I asked for, right? Calendin, thanks for the 2 months. Welcome back. And Onset Nonsun, thanks for the 7th month in a row. Welcome back, folks. KJ, checking in with the Prime. Do I want this in the face of a Chain Whirler? This is just a gain 4, right? It, like, makes the Whirler deal 2 less. I think I'm going to keep this. I think I'm in to spend a card to gain 4 life here. The asking for timeouts is a meme that you missed. It is people ask to timeouts for timeouts because some people, when they get timed out for breaking the channel rules here, they like to act like it's the worst thing that's ever happened to them. So people asking for timeouts are making fun of those folks. I've never had any issues with Harry Shipping. I do use their stuff myself. I'd encourage you to contact their customer support. They could probably do a whole lot more for you than I can here. Huh. Do I want Vraska? I think I want Vraska. Well, it looks like our deck really wanted us to have Vraska regardless. So the treasure map flips here. We get to go ahead and play this, kill their thing. And then Hydroid Krasis is going to come down as an X's 6 next turn and gain us 3, which is great. And Vraska's going to start pumping out tokens. And then maybe between the Hydroid Krasis and the Vraska, we can... Yeah, I think I start giving them cards with risk factor at this point. I think I can beat them drawing 6. Especially if they lightning strike the Vraska. So we want them to strike Vraska here. And they need to decide if that's something they want to do or not. It looks like the answer to that question is no. Hey, look at that. Our Krasis drew another Krasis. I think, I'm actually going to go ahead and cash this in on here because it guarantees I basically don't take a damage and it gives me another treasure token. So that way this can be an X's 6 Krasis next turn. Then we'll close the game out real fast here. I feel like there's enough lands in their deck at this point that if they risk factor me again, I'm just going to let them draw. I think we're far enough ahead in the back of Krasis. It wasn't even just a chance to clear out free spectacle, so much as it was to guaranteed get ramp in here for next turn to be able to play Krasis for 3, as well as make sure that I'm not going to take 1 more point of damage. So Vraska's down tick basically gained me 1 there, and it's going to gain me another 1 this way. Decline, enjoy your cards. You don't think the number of cards that they have can kill me from this position, so...
I have constructed your doom.
Viewer request for deck. Basically everything we play on this stream is viewer request for decks. You can see all of the upcoming decks that people have submitted in the deck queue on my website here. We didn't invent the donation deck system, but you could argue we've worked towards perfecting it. I guess it's possible for me to die here. Maybe I'm just supposed to Krasis. I don't know. Thing's kind of scary. And my attack with my Krasis is a little bit aggressive should they have multiple haste creatures or like Chain Whirler plus haste creatures. It's looking like they don't have anything though. Yeah, I added that yesterday, Dauber. Am I dead? Do you have another risk factor? Like, why'd we bother attacking if I'm dead? So this is 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna make a blocker. Play a Krasis for 6, go up to 4. Blue newbie, thanks for the 15 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. All right, so they're dead next turn. Please don't kill me. It's a close, tight, close game of Magic here. The pillowcase is kind of a joke thing that my wife put in there. I don't think anybody's ever actually gonna buy those. But she put it up there, so I told her we'd leave it in. I might buy Matthew one at some point as a gag gift. And better to play Thought Erasure? No. If they had lightning, they would have killed me, Blasty Blue. And it's actually important that I gain the 3rd point of health there, because if I didn't gain the 3rd point of health, a lightning strike off the top would kill me. Alright, so I definitely want to trim some of my top end. Tezzeret's a good trim. Need to cut 5 cards here. I actually think Ritual of Soot's probably too slow on average. Vraska's Contempt slow, but it does gain me life, which I think means it's worth leaving in. Maybe I trim a couple of treasure maps on the draw. I am a little bit worried about going too low on win conditions, though. So I don't think I want to cut any of these, just because these are ways I actually kill them. Maybe Thought Erasure's out on the draw. I can see that, especially since I'm bringing in Negate. This seems fine. Let's give this a try. Is Cry even good against them? It's okay. Yeah, I could see Cry being the cut too. On the play, I might put the Erasures back in and bring the Cry. Cut the Cries. This hand is not amazing, but I think it's a keep. Yeah, there's a ban announcement 5 weeks after every Mythic Championship hider. Or 4 weeks, whatever the timeline is. It's not like, this isn't like an emergency update. It's just like, this is scheduled and normal. And we'll probably say no changes in most formats. What's the strongest multicolor deck? Both Esper Control and Sultai Midrange are very powerful 3-color decks in the format. I have a favorite style of deck. Aggressive mid-range decks are my preferred archetype. So decks like the Temur Domri deck that we played yesterday are kind of my preferred. Trying to open the draw cry here. Not drawing spells. All right, on to the next one. On to the next one. Do I want Cry or do I want Thought Erasure? Do I want Cry or do I want Thought Erasure? I think I want Thought Erasure. Now, they're not going to have a triple 1-drop start every game. There's lots of Sultai mid-range decks, Freedmania. There's infinite different combinations and permutations of that. So you're right, uses mid-range deck that's greedy and cuts Wild Growth Walker does fall into that selection, but there's lots of others that also fall under that banner. Can you erasure a Jumpstart? You cannot. So Jumpstart cards are in their discard pile. Is Arena mostly... So, you have a short memory. I was anti-standard when standard wasn't fun, and Magic had a very long, bad standard streak. So, for almost 2 years, Magic had bad standard formats. In fact, I did not start playing Arena until standard rotated and became better. So, Arena is not the reason that I enjoy Standard, although Arena is excellent. But Arena being excellent doesn't make up for Standard being dog poop when it's dog poop. Magic's good standard formats have always been my favorite formats to play. It's just for a while, we didn't have a good standard format, so that wasn't an option. Standard was bad because there was the answer threat ratio was not good. The threats were much better than the answers, and the gameplay patterns were not fantastic because of that. I am at 17. Yeah, I'd agree with that. The last time I really enjoyed Standard was when Concept Tarkir was legal prior to this one. We're just looking for some lands at this point. Eventually we want to, like, cycle these growth spirals. Skewer me, baby. The stage is lit up. There's our double whirly boy. Looking for some lands here. Negate. I think I just want to land. Maybe I'm supposed to keep that, though. Land feels good. One of your finest 4/4s, please. So I get to double whirly boy here, but then I have a 4/4 blocking.
This will not deter me.
This will not deter me. And if they want to kill Karn here, they don't get to play the other Chain Whirler. So I think this is a win for me overall, because like now they're down a Chain Whirler. Worth noting, if I sacrifice things to Treasure Cove to draw cards, I can no longer block the Goblin Chain Whirler, which sucks. I think I just go to 6 here. Looking for Hydroid Krasis, Vraska's Contempt, Moment of Craving, Negate. Do I want to trophy this Chain Whirler? I don't think I do. That was a wonderful draw. Means I get to really apply pressure.
I will fight if allow me to pursue a friend of mine.
So let's start being aggressive here. I need to close the game out before they draw enough burn spells to kill me, basically. Please hit Karn. Rats. Don't have Risk Factor as your last card. Don't do it to me. That's a pretty good one.
Evil cannot withstand a right.
All hands, I'll be taking that.
Alright. Need to not die next turn. Attack for 12. Go. So they need a burn spell in their hand, or they need a Risk Factor off the top. How do I have lethal? This can't attack. I just made that. This is the part where we die. And that's why again, like, you shouldn't focus on the results of your games when you play, because there's going to be plenty of games like that where you play well and they literally just come down to the wire, and the difference between being 2-2 and being 4-0 is just like super marginal, right? Like, it's a they drew one brick, or I draw one more Moment of Craving or Negate, and then the outcome breaks in the other way, and suddenly my deck has an amazing record. I'm pretty happy with most decisions I made that game. You could maybe argue that I'm supposed to keep a Negate at some point, but like, if I keep a Negate at some point, my clock is much slower because I don't find the other Karn sooner. I'm not able to get more things going. And like, the reason why I was able to be in a position to need to fade a draw there was because I had applied so much pressure. You know how it goes. Yeah, I was pretty happy with this deck. This deck's just like, and it's difficult. Like, so one of the things I always talk about when you're brewing decks to figure out whether or not your deck's likely reasonable is like, you look at this deck and you ask yourself like, okay, how many of the cards that this deck is playing are present in a bunch of other good decks in the format, right? And if you ask yourself that question, almost every card that we're playing in this deck is playable in something else. So we had a lot of really awesome close games. I think our record was 2-2, but I don't know. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. I know both the matches that we lost, we were like one draw step away in a third game from like having those matches be wins. The deck felt very reasonably powerful. If you're looking for an excuse to play Karn and Treasure Map in a shell that's more controlling like this, I think this is probably a very reasonable place to start with. I'm gonna turn my space heater off. It's getting a little warm down here.